Well, good evening from London Gatwick Airport. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jamie Davey and welcome to the flight review. This evening we're going on Qatar Airways from London Gatwick to Johannesburg via Doha.
Yeah, that wasn't going to happen. I might need to clarify here, as you'll see later on, that we did not make it to Johannesburg that evening, but this report will cover both of the aircraft we flew on. Oh, also, this was my first flight review I filmed, and I filmed it on a much larger camera, so expect some pretty poor footage. Anyway, proceed.
And we're flying on the Boeing 787 Dreamliner and also the Airbus A350.
Qatar Airways departs from the North Terminal at London Gatwick. Qatar operates 3 flights a day from Gatwick, which serves as extra capacity for London and complements the 6 flights from Heathrow. Our flight is one of the last to leave the North Terminal that evening, meaning it was rather quiet airside. I was travelling with my partner, who at the time of filming was recovering from an operation, meaning she was on crutches and she had a boot. As a result, we required special assistance, and we were given a nifty bleeper which went off when it was time for us to head to the gate. But obviously Mary still wanted to shop. Anyway, enough messing around, let's skip to the aircraft this evening. This beautiful machine is a Boeing 787-8, delivered brand new to Qatar Airways in 2013. At the time of filming, this aircraft was just 6 years old. We were one of the first aboard, thanks to Mary requiring special assistance. Not gonna lie, I quite like this. I think Mary should break her foot more often. The economy section has 232 seats laid out in a 3-3 configuration, and upon first impressions the cabin was extremely smart and it keeps with the airline's colour scheme quite nicely. The cabin crew were really attentive and extremely friendly, yet very professional, and represented Qatar Airways very well. I would definitely say the cabin crew were extremely consistent on every Qatar Airways flight we flew on. We got the same standard of service on every flight.
Thanks very much, cheers.
Thank you.
The legroom was 31 inches, which is more than acceptable for a flight of this length, although the IFE box may reduce the amount of floor space underneath. The table folds out in 2 halves quite nicely. Headphones are provided to each passenger, but if you can, maybe try and bring your own headphones. Both me and Mary were quite confused on where the headphones go in. We then discovered that the headphones jack is located in the armrest, but at the front of it, which was pretty odd. USB charging and a power port is also available at the seat. On each seat there was a pillow, blanket, and an amenity pack. A refreshing towel was distributed during the safety video, which is always a nice touch. After departure, menus were handed out for the in-flight meal. One unique thing was the illustrations showing what to expect from the in-flight service. What was quite odd though is that I didn't see this on my return flight at all. Maybe it was just something out of London? Who knows? Straight after takeoff, dinner was served straight away. On our tray was a bottle of water, and a bread roll, and another small juice, and a carrot, pineapple and orange salad, which weirdly reminded me of coleslaw. It was basically coleslaw. It was very tasty though. I really liked the metal cutlery. It really was just a nice touch. It certainly made a standard economy service a bit more premium. Mary went for the rigatoni pasta, served with pepper and cheese. And I went for the chicken picadillo, if I said that right, served with a tomato and chive chutney. We both really enjoyed our meals. I felt the highlight was the dessert, which was this lemon dessert. It was bloody lovely. I even took Mary's. And thus we tucked in for our slumber as we cruised further towards Doha. I awoke just as the sun was creeping over the horizon and took the time to explore the in-flight entertainment system. There was an extremely extensive movie and TV collection, ranging from classic and latest Hollywood hits, Bollywood, and beyond. Interestingly, there were more options on board the A350, but the 787's entertainment was more than sufficient. They also provided connecting flight information and terminal maps of Doha Airport, although on my flight this wasn't working. I certainly could not get bored of the selection on my flight. Although the screen really was starting to show its age, the touchscreen was not really responsive at times and it became rather infuriating, and it put me off exploring the library too much. But luckily the remote control helped with that. A small pastry was served before landing, which was more of a cream pastry. It was a rather hazy morning as we made our descent into Doha. Once parked up, we were taken on the ambi lift and rushed over to our next flight, which we missed. So we had an unexpected stopover in Qatar instead, which I must stress was not the fault of the airline. It was a tight connection which was booked before Mary's operation. We were unable to get any more footage, but Qatar Airways put us up in a hotel in the city for the day, as our flight wasn't until 2 AM the next morning. They gave us food and drink vouchers for use at the hotel, which came up to approximately £50 per person, which certainly was more than enough for us. We did get out and explore Doha after a snooze, which was nice and unexpected, but realistically, we lost a night in Kruger National Park, which was a real shame. Oh, well, what a week. All good things must come to an end, sadly, as it was time to return home. So, interesting thing, the lady pushing Mary on the wheelchair, she actually met us when we landed into Johannesburg, and she's the one who's taking us back to our aircraft on the way home. But she was absolutely lovely and welcoming. I love jetties like this where you can see the aircraft like this. It's just stunning. She is an Airbus A350, delivered in 2015. Fun fact for you, did you know that Qatar Airways was the first launch customer for the Airbus A350? which saw the first examples being delivered in 2014. This aircraft was the second Airbus A350 delivered to Qatar Airways, meaning it is one of the very early examples of the Airbus A350-900 that was manufactured. It was a really quiet flight today. There were only 50 passengers on board the whole aircraft. I found the A350 much more spacious, with 32 inches of pitch. I had enough room to swing a cat. Each seat is fitted with a 17-inch screen and no IFE box below, which is an added bonus. The remote control itself has a touchscreen which is very responsive, and you can also place a flight map on the screen as well, which is quite useful. The headrests are adjustable, and they are comfortable as well. There are also personal air vents above you, and the electronic screen for the seatbelt sign is quite a nice touch. Yeah, I think the windows might need a clean. Well, luckily COVID-19 has sorted that out. Do you know what, funnily enough, I never showed you what was in the seat pocket on the outbound trip. Well, in the seat pocket you have a safety card and a packet which contains the in-flight magazine and a sick bag. Personal wellness bag, certainly a nice name for a sick bag. And again, just like before, a refreshing towel was handed out just before departure. I was especially surprised to see an amenity pack on a day flight. Let the lovely Mary show you what's inside the amenity pack. Oh. Okay, alright, perfect. So, there is... Oh, no, not finished. Oh, alright, okay. Just let me know when you're finished. Right. Okay. So, you get lip balm, as well as earplugs, compression socks, and Dawson eye mask. No, just leave it. It's fine. I've shown the nice people the eye mask. Oh, forget it. The safety video is starting. Well, that's it. That's it, lot. End the review. Only kidding. Okay, so by this point in time, if you count that the safety video first plays in English and then Arabic, we've seen this video 6 times. 6 bloody times. And we've got to say, we certainly giggled at this guy. I think this guy really enjoyed filming this safety video. You could say that his performance didn't blow. Goodbye, South Africa. You have been wonderful. So, a bit of a weird in-flight service for such a long flight. We'll be served a breakfast and then a snack on arrival. I went for the French toast, which was, it was alright. It was served with some croissants, yogurt, and a fruit salad. The French toast itself was nice, but I think the cream started to curdle. So realistically, I was pretty disappointed and quite hungry. Being a quiet flight, I had the row to myself to stretch out. You can't help but feel bad for the business class passengers though. Imagine paying a lot for business class, knowing that the flight was empty. What an absolute royal waste. Throughout the flight, snacks were served with a choice of chocolate and Mr. Chips. And that was really it for the next couple of hours. Just those snacks and just sitting around really. So here's a sneak peek on the business class seat on this aircraft. The eagle-eye viewers will spot that this is not the new Q suites. But it still looks like a very pleasant seat to sit on for a 10-hour jaunt up the spine of Africa. Although I would say the middle seats don't give you that much privacy. The hours flew by, and an hour and a half before landing, an all-day snack was served. I thought we would get something a bit more substantial, but hey-ho. And before too long, we landed back into Doha. And I must say, Qatar Airways is a 5-star airline in its own right. Without too much of a dig, I would certainly say that Qatar Airways was far more superior than some of the other offerings on the route between London and Johannesburg. Our flights were good value for money as well. Overall, our flights came up to £422 return, which included a generous baggage allowance of 30 kilos. Interestingly, when we were looking to book, other airlines between London and Johannesburg offered similar fares, but you would need to pay additionally for 23 kilos of baggage, which meant it was more expensive. So realistically, we felt that Qatar Airways was a no-brainer. We got more baggage allowance and we spent less money. Okay, you get the layover in Doha, but hey, it's a layover. And I really felt that the £420 was very well spent. The legroom was extremely decent, the in-flight entertainment was plentiful, and the cabin crew were very attentive and polite throughout. The food could have been a bit more substantial, that's just me really nitpicking at this point. Otherwise, I really enjoyed my flights on Qatar Airways, and I really would suggest that you try them out. I must also add that Qatar Airways handled our misconnection really well, and they did all they could to look after Mary during what was a stressful experience. Well, good evening from Doha in Qatar, and I guess this is a perfect place more than anything to finish the video. We have about a 7-hour layover until our next flight at 2 o'clock in the morning. It's about 10 o'clock in the evening here, but if you have a long layover, get out and have a look, because I'll tell you what, to enjoy a nice drink here, I couldn't think of a better way than just being cooped up in the airport. I hope you have enjoyed the video, and I hope you've enjoyed the Qatar Airways experience. Until next time, see you soon.